Hi, I'm Alison Kentish. When we speak of climate change, most people think of sea level rise and more intense storms. And that's okay because it gets the climate change conversation going. However, many people still think of climate change as some far-off concept. In this edition of Beyond the News, we'll show you the realities of climate change, the fact that it is already here, and we'll tell you just why you should care. Small island states have come out swinging, making some of their demands clear ahead of the December climate talks in Paris. Representatives have described COP21 as an opportunity to make a case for the survival of these small nations. As the world looks forward to the talks, we're first taking a look back at climate change and its impact on livelihoods right here in the Caribbean. Here is Anne-Marie Augustus. We followed her story over the last few months. She toils the land and sells her produce at the Castries market. It is people like Anne-Marie and her family who will be affected if larger countries do not commit to the 1.5 degrees Celsius limit to global warming needed by small states. Augustus does not refer to it as climate change, but she knows that warmer temperatures and extreme weather events are wreaking havoc on local families like hers.
I plant everything. This year, I think burn, but I think small sun. The sweet potato, I have a big piece of sweet potato, is not making not a or one potato, but I have to buy it. And I want that I cannot get a bag because it's no food at all.
The language and science of climate change can be complicated, but the impacts are clear and compelling. They include more intense storms, severe drought, and rising sea levels. And speaking of intense storms, our trip to Dominica post-tropical storm Erica revealed the true intensity of Mother Nature. Just ask Philip Sindaru of the southeastern community of Petite-Savane, which was decimated. He's one of hundreds of residents who were evacuated from the community and will have to call somewhere else home.
It's not that I want it at the end, because I'm a retired police officer, and all the work that I have worked in my village to own my property to have a good ending, it will be just standing there. Because we had a discussion with our PAL rep, and the understanding is Petite-Savane has declared as a no-living zone, a disaster zone. So I'm afraid all the properties and all that we have is going to stay behind. So because we are not going to be there, we're going to build a new Petite-Savane somewhere else, but not up there in the south.
Tropical storm Erica also revealed the vulnerability of small island states to climate change. In the community of Fobawa, Lubia, where the river burst its banks, causing widespread damage to homes, it also brought home the issue of human-induced climate change, in this case, deforestation.
And it's God that put a hand to some of us, yeah, because a lot of us could get put, especially my brother there, where he's in the river there. Oh, God had put the hand, because once the water bursts there, it share the river in two. So then if you haven't time come out there, you have to stay there till when the river subsides there. But otherwise, we're just looking and see, because right now I believe the government need to relocate everybody living on this side of the river there, because there is not good for people to live again. Because right now, because of the trees they cut over the river, it's time rainfall, the river rises, overflows its banks, and everything in its passage gone.
How can you play a part in helping to protect your country? A good place to start is by taking responsibility for the environment and adopting a zero-tolerance approach to littering. Apart from making our communities and towns untidy, littering contributes significantly to flooding during heavy rainfall. You can also join the recently launched regional campaign dubbed 1.5 to Stay Alive. It's a clarion call to join forces and demand change in Paris. The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Sustainable Development, Sylvester Clozel, says the campaign is intended to drive home the point that climate change is here and action by all is needed.
If we don't make a strong voice, not just at COP in December, but as a build up to that activity, we may end up with another Copenhagen, or perhaps another Lima, where there's no real commitment on the part of the developed world to make a change and to reduce the causes of climate change.
Caribbean environmentalists and climate change experts say there is no greater threat to the survival and security of small states than that posed by climate change. Make no mistake, this is serious business. So next time you hear the term climate change, think of the precious coastlines and remember the extreme weather events. But think also of the faces of climate change, the human side, those people who are already being affected, and understand that these faces are multiplying every single day. What our leaders are aiming for through initiatives like the 1.5 to Stay Alive campaign is the multiplication of another set of faces of climate change, those standing up and letting their voices be heard. And that's it for this edition of Beyond the News. I'm Alison Kentish. See you next week.